to what it's like to experience the pain of the world from a place of presence. And it's also very much this idea of radiating loving kindness, radiating peace and comfort into the world, taking in its pain and breathing it out. For me, the image that speaks most kind of radically to this is the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with. And I was always drawn to that image my whole life. And there's something very, I think my spiritual path and the way I teach and the way I live, hopefully, is, I think, very heart-centered. And so for me, that image of that human with that divine heart that's open and exposed to all the pain in the world and yet not overwhelmed by it, that to me is a real image of what in Tibetan Buddhism they call bodhicitta, or awakened heart, awakened consciousness. And so I think that practice is a great practice for putting us in touch with that awakened heart. And the thing that I've noticed when I teach this with people is that they're surprised at how absolutely vast and spacious their heart is. That they can receive that pain and they can give out comfort. And it's very, very amazing to them that they're capable of doing that. But your heart is already awakened. Your heart is vast. It is able to contain all the pain that you encounter. And it's able to give away comfort, peace back. So that's our day, basically. And I often close with a prayer by Cardinal Newman. And my relationship with this prayer is a long one. When I was a young man, my mother was a co-worker of the Missionaries of Charity of Mother Teresa. So she was very supportive of their ministry and helped them out when she could and things. And so I heard about Mother Teresa for years before she won the Nobel Prize, and I was in a circle of people that knew about her work. And then in 1979 or so, she won the Nobel Peace Prize and was on the cover of Time magazine and became a kind of spiritual celebrity, you could say. But one thing that I learned about Mother Teresa really early on was that every day after communion, she'd say this prayer by Cardinal Newman that's called Radiating Christ. And all of her sisters say this prayer out loud every day after communion. And when I was a young novice in the Trappist, I heard this prayer, and I was so inspired by it that I took it on myself to pray that every day after communion. And I'd say for over probably around 25 years, I prayed that prayer every day after communion. And then when I had an awakening in 2010, my spiritual director, who was very aware of this prayer because I'd actually given retreats on the prayer, I really found it inspiring. And there's something in this prayer, there's something of a transmission in this prayer. And whenever I've shared it, I've always felt a huge kind of energy that transmits something very beautiful in the prayer. And if you don't relate to the image of the Christ, you can change it to Buddha, or you could change it to Shiva, or you could change it to Krishna, or you could change it to whoever you like. In the prayer, I'm using the symbol of the Christ, but as I pointed out, the Christ symbol is really the symbol of your own true nature. So it's your own true self, your own face before your parents were born, as the Zen people say. And what this whole day was meant to point to is that place of presence, that place of emptiness, that place of spirit within you. And so my prayer for you is that you would be able to discover that place within and radiate that into the world, who so desperately needs that shining, And you're going to shine that into the world in an absolutely unique way that's never been seen before and will never be seen again. That's how special your radiance is. You'll radiate the Christ in a way that no one else can. So that's your special gift to the world. So I'd like to share this prayer with you and just open yourself to it and to receive the transmission, because it's a very powerful transmission. And whenever I've shared it, I always feel like something really beautiful happens through it. So you could just close your eyes and just receive the energy of this. Dear Jesus, help me to spread your fragrance everywhere I go. Flood my soul with your spirit and life. Penetrate and possess my whole being so utterly that every soul I come in contact with may feel your presence in my soul. Let them look up and see no longer only me, but Jesus. Stay with me, then I shall begin to shine as you shine. So to shine as to be a light to others. The light, O Jesus, will be all from you. None of it will be mine. It will be you shining on others through me. Let me thus praise you in the way you love best, by shining on those around me. Let me preach you without preaching, not by words, but by my example, by the catching force, by the sympathetic influence of all that I do, by the evident fullness of the love my heart bears. Amen. Bless you. Thank you for having me.